Something extraordinary just happened that will forever change how we think about cars, boats, and everything in between. Can you imagine driving to the edge of a lake and continuing straight into the water without stopping? While the world believed amphibious vehicles were military machines or billionaire toys, China just proved that wrong with a price tag of $5,999, and the entire automotive industry is in shock. Today, I will show you the 8 most jaw-dropping amphibious cars ever built, from Cold War military machines to the Chinese innovation that just made them all obsolete. Stay until the end because number 1 will completely change how you think about the future of personal transportation. 8th place belongs to the Amphicar 770, the first amphibious car ever sold to the public. Launched in West Germany in 1961, this was the moment when the impossible dream left the drawing board and hit the streets. About 3,878 Amphicars were built, each promising drivers the thrill of rolling down a boat ramp and gliding into the water without ever leaving the driver's seat. On land, it could reach 113 kilometers per hour, but in water it topped out at a gentle 11 kilometers per hour, with the rear wheels driving twin propellers. The Amphicar's quirky charm even caught the attention of Jackie Kennedy and President Lyndon Johnson, who famously pranked guests at his Texas ranch by pretending to lose control and plunge into a lake. Yet for all its wonder, regulation would soon kill the dream. U.S. safety laws and emission standards forced sales to a halt in just a few years. The Amphicar proved the concept, but its modest performance and legal hurdles set a low baseline for what amphibious cars could be. It was a bold start, but the world would soon demand more. Number 7 is the DUKW, the unstoppable workhorse that proved amphibious vehicles could operate at scale. Born from wartime urgency in 1942, the DUKW was not built for show, it was engineered for survival and victory. Over 21,000 of these 6-wheeled giants rolled off American assembly lines, each one capable of hauling troops, supplies, and even artillery straight from ship to shore. On land, the DUKW could hit 80 kilometers per hour. In water, it cruised at 9 kilometers per hour, thanks to a powerful bilge pump system that kept the hull dry under fire. At Normandy, DUKW vehicles delivered vital cargo across open beaches, turning the tide of the war and earning a place in military legend. No other amphibious vehicle comes close in terms of sheer numbers or battlefield impact. The reliability of the DUKW and its mass production set a new standard, moving the amphibious dream from quirky experiment to essential tool and raising the bar for every machine that followed. Number 6 is the Gibbs Aquata, the first amphibious car to truly break the speed barrier on water. Debuting in the United Kingdom in 2003, the Aquata was not just a car that could float, it was a sports machine designed to plane across open water at nearly 50 kilometers per hour. With a lightweight hull and a powerful V6 engine, the Aquata could retract its wheels in just 12 seconds, transforming from road mode to watercraft faster than you could tie your shoes. The vision was so bold that in 2004, Richard Branson took the Aquata across the English Channel, shattering the amphibious crossing record in just 1 hour and 40 minutes. But all this engineering came at a price, about $250,000 per vehicle, with only a handful ever built. The Aquata proved that real speed and seamless transitions were possible, but at a cost that kept it firmly in the realm of the ultra-rich. As the amphibious dream accelerated, the price tag soared, setting the stage for an even more exclusive wave of high-speed machines. Number 5 is the Water Car Panther, a California-built beast that turned the impossible dream of high-speed amphibious fun into reality, if you had the cash. Launched in 2013, the Panther looks like a muscle car crossbred with a speedboat, and it lives up to the hype. Powered by a Honda V6 and a custom jet drive, the Panther can blast across lakes at 72 kilometers per hour, fast enough to leave most boats in its wake. On land, it rockets up to 130 kilometers per hour, with a transition from road to water that takes less than 15 seconds. The hull combines fiberglass with chromoly steel, fighting off corrosion that doomed earlier efforts. But all this adrenaline comes at a price, about $135,000 per build, with each one hand-assembled for a tiny group of thrill seekers. The Panther is pure luxury performance, a wild ride that put raw speed ahead of mass appeal and left most drivers on dry land dreaming of a cheaper way in. Number 4 belongs to the Rinspeed Splash, a Swiss-built concept that looks more like a science fiction sketch than a practical car. When it debuted at the Geneva Motor Show in 2004, jaws dropped, not just for the wild styling, but for what lay underneath. The Splash hides a pair of retractable hydrofoil arms that swing down and lift the entire car above the water's surface, slicing through waves at a claimed 80 kilometers per hour. Powered by a turbocharged natural gas engine, it can deploy its foils in just 30 seconds, transforming from roadster to hydroplane before your eyes. For a brief moment, it seemed like the future had arrived. But the Splash was a one-off, an experiment in what's possible, not a machine for the masses. No production run, no price tag, no path to your driveway. The Rinspeed Splash proved the limits of pure imagination, pushing amphibious engineering to its wildest edge, and then vanishing as quickly as it appeared. Number 3 is the Volkswagen Schwimmwagen, the unstoppable scout car that rolled out of German factories by the thousands during World War II. From 1942 to 1944, over 14,265 Schwimmwagens were built, more than any other amphibious car in history. Soldiers on the Eastern Front depended on these rugged four-wheel drives to cross rivers, mud, and even enemy lines, thanks to a simple but brilliant design. A watertight hull, four-wheel drive, and a fold-down propeller that could be deployed in seconds. On land, the Schwimmwagen could reach 80 kilometers per hour, darting along country roads or muddy tracks. In water, it cruised at 10 kilometers per hour, slow but steady, with the propeller spinning behind. This wasn't a luxury toy or a one-off experiment. It was mass-produced military hardware, tough enough for war and simple enough to fix in the field. The Schwimmwagen proved that amphibious cars could be built at scale, decades before the world dreamed of affordable everyday models. Number 2 is the Gibbs Phibian, a machine that pushed the boundaries of what an amphibious vehicle could be and what it could cost. Unveiled in 2012, the Phibian was a towering 10-seat SUV designed not for thrill seekers, but for governments, rescue teams, and anyone with $400,000 to burn. Built to meet international SOLAS safety standards, this behemoth could rocket down the highway at 130 kilometers per hour, then in less than 10 seconds, retract its wheels into sealed pods and launch itself onto open water. Twin diesel jet drives produced a claimed 48 kilometers per hour on lakes and rivers, faster than most speedboats, and far faster than anything that also had a steering wheel and a license plate. Prototype trials showed the Phibian could handle rough surf and heavy loads, all while meeting the kind of compliance checks reserved for commercial ferries. But for all its engineering muscle, the Phibian was never about mass adoption. Its price tag and complexity set a ceiling for what amphibious technology could achieve before the dream of affordability crashed through, leaving the Phibian as the last word in exclusive, government-grade amphibious power just before the world turned upside down. A $5,999 electric amphibious car from China has upended 6 decades of exclusivity, bringing a technology once reserved for military contracts and luxury collectors to the edge of mass adoption. The concept is not new. Vehicles like the Amphicar and the Aquata teased the dream, but always at a price that kept them out of reach. This model changes the equation: 4 seats, fully electric and road legal, with a sticker price that undercuts even budget motorcycles. Manufacturer specifications claim it seats 4 adults, reaches 100 kilometers per hour on the highway, and with a press of a button transitions to water mode in under 10 seconds. Once afloat, a retractable jet drive deploys in just 4 seconds, shifting control to marine steering and pushing the craft to a claimed 45 kilometers per hour, quick enough to keep pace with recreational boats. The hull is built from a corrosion-proof polymer composite, promising durability even in saltwater environments. Range figures are ambitious, up to 400 kilometers on land per charge, or 3 hours of continuous operation on water, making weekend escapes and cross-lake trips possible without refueling stops. The price is the headline: $5,999 direct from the factory. A sales claim of 8,000 units in 96 hours after launch, though unverified, hints at explosive demand. Until now, amphibious cars meant hand-built exotics or military behemoths. This is a leap to mass production. Certification filings show the car has cleared China's MYYT road approval and reportedly passed CCS maritime safety checks. Export manifests list shipments to over 24 countries. Yet independent sea trials and third-party crash tests are rare, and no major automotive outlet has published a teardown or long-term review. The engineering is real, but the full picture remains incomplete. For the first time, the amphibious dream is within reach for ordinary drivers. The question is not whether the technology exists, but whether it can truly deliver on its promise, and if the rest of the world is ready to follow. Across all 8 breakthroughs, one pattern is clear. Once an impossible dream for armies and millionaires, amphibious engineering just crossed a price barrier that changes everything. When radical mobility gets cheap, the world rewrites its possibilities. Who will dare challenge China's dominance? Let us know in the comments below.